Down here, salt is a way of life.
Obviously, the environment down here is all salt. The ceiling's salt, the floor is salt, the walls are salt, and to an extent, the air is salt.
Hi, it's Isabel975 and welcome to Elite Dangerous on the Legacy version on Xbox. And I've been incredibly, horrifically busy lately between rescue, personal life and work, and I've had very little time to play Elite Dangerous, which has been annoying, but you know, fortunately for me, I've done some mining, both in-game and in Salt. Scooby sent me a couple of links to Xbox community chats that looked interesting. Now, I don't normally get involved on the Xbox community chats. It's where people post clips of their gameplay and people comment on it. I normally avoid it. I mean, in terms of toxicity level of comments, it can be worse than the FDev forums, and the Care Bear levels on there are very high. You know, there's a lot of people on there that think combat logging is fine. Now, the clip itself was nothing really to speak of. It's Mr. Goodwood, one of my subscribers. In his FAS, he interdicts a guy in a Mamba who's elite. The guy's pledged to Leon Roos are doing power play and wanted. So there are 1,000,001 reasons why this guy might be being attacked. He's doing power play. He's wanted. He's in open, in a Mamba, and he's elite. So he's certainly not a newbie. This is certainly not any sort of ganking or anything like that. This is a 1v1 situation. There's no gang attack here. You know, to say it's griefing would be really, you know, ignoring the fact that he's openly doing power play in open on Xbox. And if you don't know, you know, power play is all about consensual PvP. If you play power play in open on Xbox, you are effectively saying, I'm ready to do PvP and I don't mind doing PvP. Otherwise, you know, why would you fly around with power play tags allowing people to attack you without getting notoriety? Plus, the guy was wanted. So I was amazed the comment section on this one lit up, given the guy's elite in power play and wanted. Yeah, I didn't expect the comment section on this one to go too crazy, but boy was I wrong, and boy was this one worth salt mining. Now, as to the person menu logging and not combat logging, I actually have very little issue with people menu logging. It's a bit of a weird one, but like, it's technically combat logging, but FDev have said it's not a breach of terms of service, so it's a bit of a awkward one. I'll bring you this clip from Devo of FDev community manager confirming that it's technically combat logging.
We've started.
Oh my gosh.
I could just carry on playing this for a while. No, all right, anyway.
We actually shut the stream down, but we're going to keep playing here, so...
Look, I'm not allowed to because it's technically combat logging. So what I'll do is I'll leave this running and then see if my multi-crew companions can handle themselves.
Now, when it comes to Elite Dangerous, I don't make the rules. You know, I don't enforce my will upon any other commander or tell them they have to do things how I want them to do them. I just very much ask people to respect the rules that are in place by the developer, because it is the developer's choice. It's the developer's game. They created it. They can make you disappear if they want to. You know, they are definitely in charge. You know, as the creator of something, they have the right to do with it what they will, and if they deem something to be combat logging or not, that's their choice. If they deem something to be cheating, that's their choice. Whether I agree with it or not, whether you agree with it or not, is completely irrelevant. They make the game, they make the rules. That's how it works. It's a very simple process, and I don't dictate how anyone should play this game. Yes, I'm a PvP pirate, and I pirate other commanders in open at gunpoint. And some people are like, well, you force your will on them by, you know, attacking them at gunpoint. But they chose to play in open, and I'm allowed to do that gameplay. The developers have okayed it. I mean, you only have to look at the fact I can switch my fleet carrier to piracy mode, and I have all the tools and equipment to do piracy. And as to me saying about power play being consensual PvP, here's another clip from FDev.
The last thing about power play is that it has. Yeah.
So was the
going-
first thing, and now you're telling us that. The last
No,
thing.
there was two things there.
Oh, were there?
It's player authored and it's galactic-wide content, dynamic changing content. But importantly, most important of all, it allows consensual PvP. Well, it allows consensual PvP.
Okay.
Okay, so that's at its
really
core of it, it's a way for players to work together in teams against other players in teams, and that's.
So there we go, from the lead developer at the time himself, saying that, power play is to facilitate PvP, allow teams of players to compete against other teams of players. Now, I kill people for power play reasons. It's one of the few reasons why I kill players in this game. I rob and pay up commanders because I'm a roleplay pirate, and I kill players for Archon delaying purposes. Some people disagree with that, don't think that PvP should be even allowed. Some people are of the opinion that any sort of PvP is ganking and wrong. However, like I say, it's not me that make the rules, it's the developer, and they have said what I do is fine and allowable under the rules of playing in open. They decide. It's not me, it's them. So you get people like this who say, like, if you don't do PvP and are getting ganked, just turn off your Xbox. Now, I see this sort of sentiment from a lot of people all the time. It makes me laugh because, one, the stigma that comes with combat logging is a stain you don't particularly want to be walking around with. Two, like, really and truly, if you switch off your Xbox, it's, what have you achieved? Nothing. Like, learn to escape and evade properly within the rules of the game. Cheating to avoid combat is just sad and a bit pathetic, really. Like, it's a very simple game to escape from other commanders. I mean, that ship can have 3,400, 3,500 shields on it easily. There's no reason for this sort of behavior at all when you're in a, Mamba in open on Elite Dangerous. This person's made their decision, but it's not them I'm going to focus on. It's actually someone in the comment section talking about what they did. So get ready, and this one, needs a warning.
Oh shit, here we go again.
So get your popcorn ready. This one's going to be a doozy. This is QcWarChief at his finest. We've debated with him in the past. He is someone that believes what we do in game is completely wrong, how it's immoral that we attack any other players, that we should definitely play the game how he wants us to play, in fact telling us that we should all give up piracy and do Thargoid hunting. Keep that in mind as this clip goes on, because I will link to a video where you see he constantly tells people how they should and shouldn't play this game, and then falls into this sort of hypocrisy in this video. So his basic excuses for combat logging is, one, he says people can free to do whatever they want, the game's dead, the developers are a joke, blah blah blah. Now, the game might be dead, but you're still arguing on a comment section about it. Plus there's still plenty of people playing it, and the game is, the clip you're watching is from the other day on the game. So I don't see the relevance of how many people are playing to whether the rules still apply. Also, no matter how, absent a developer is, they still created the game. The creator is still responsible for what they did. And I even say people do whatever they want. If you cheat or break the rules, the dev's terms of service, you also face the consequences, like being called a cheat. And QcWarChief just goes on and on, making excuses that the game's dead, that it doesn't really matter, people can do what they want, and going on about this fallacy that he claims because Scooby said he doesn't like people having opposing opinions, but he's claiming that's a fallacy because clearly he loves people having opposing opinions, or it's wrong because Scooby's an opposing opinion. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know where he's getting the idea of this fallacy from, because every time someone has an opposing opinion to his, all he does is just throw abuse at them and call them stupid. He never actually addresses the points, he just starts throwing insults out. But as we move on, he says it comes down to opinions, not much enforcement, and that note, my life matters more than you, so it's disconnecting. So, screw the other players, my life's more important than theirs, disconnect. That's his attitude. That's the entitlement level, the fact that no matter, you know, what you're doing, his life's more important than yours, so he's free to combat log. Yeah, that's not an argument that's going to go down well with a lot of people. Also, like I said, you know, it's like a 4-year-old taking their ball home because they're losing a game. We don't make the rules. We don't. All we do is politely ask people not to cheat. I don't think that's a high bar to be setting for people. You know, but he keeps going on. And you know, he's banging on about this claim of a fallacy, the fact that he doesn't like other people's opinions, all the while not liking other people's opinions. And you know, for years he's been banging on supporting combat logging, and he's never made an actual valid argument for combat logging. If people have a personal reason why they need to log off the game, that's fine. As I said in an earlier comment down there, you know, if they're polite about it and they say, look, I'm sorry, I've got to go, I'm sure nobody would have an issue. There's no reason to just ungracefully pull the plug out or immediately menu log during a fight. You know, if you've got to go, you've got to go. No one's going to have a qualms with that. But there's no need to log to go. And also, if that was the case with this clip, why was the guy back in game immediately in solo or private group? Now, if anyone spots this question that he bangs on about later, asking it no one answered, please let me know, because I don't see a question from him. You know, he does like hate opposite opinions, because all he does is call people stupid when they disagree with him. He doesn't actually, like, you know, debate in good faith. He doesn't actually raise any points or answer any of the points that you raise. He just throws out abuse and calls you stupid if you disagree with him. It's hilarious. Like, you know, how deep will you dig this fallacy? Well, I've got tons of footage of you just doing this exact same thing, where you don't actually engage with the argument about combat logging, you just turn it into personal attacks and abuse. You know, and as I keep saying, like, he defends cheats. You know, I ask him some questions, and I then decided to go off and play for an hour, because I thought, well, he won't answer the questions, so there's really no point. So I went into the game and pirated for an hour, and yeah, then I came back. There'd been a few comments from Org and Polo, Corcosa Lang, who I don't even know what squadron he's in, and then he, you know, QcWarChief is back, and boy, yeah, claims fascism.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
Now, I've not seen him answer a question, but he said, none of you have answered a question either. Digging that fallacy even further, I guess you should see the whole picture here too. The whole hive is walking the line of fascism. What? Yes, because we're an authoritarian regime demanding people do stuff against their will? No, the whole idea that we're being fascist when we're just politely asking people to follow the rules laid out by the developer is just ridiculous. And then he goes on, the game developer is not a god, it is a pointless corporation. It's their creation, it's their game. Like, they can snap you out of existence. I'd say they are a god of their own creation. I mean, to say the developers don't make the rules you do is such self-entitlement, it is beyond belief. The guy is absolutely insane. I mean, I would recommend you pause and read some of these fully, because they are absolutely glorious. He's calling us fascists because we politely ask people not to cheat. And he's the person that sits there telling people how they should and shouldn't play. So hypocrisy much. Scooby will be smug because he recommended I come on this thread, and I did not realise how much salt it would achieve. Again, he keeps with the personal insults because Scooby said he was off to watch an NCIS episode, so apparently that's I've got the level of folks I deal with. Yes, and I'm sure you are off to read poetry and philosophy. You know, but as far as theology goes, I'm an atheist, and even I defer to developers when it comes to their video game, and it is their creation, so they make the rules. You don't, I don't. Like, how you think you can just choose what rules you obey and what rules you don't obey in games? Like, if we didn't have rule sets in games, there wouldn't be the game to play. Do you think the referee in a game of football is the fascist? Like, are you insane? It's just crazy talk. Like, asking people to follow the rules is fascism. Telling people that piracy shouldn't be allowed and people shouldn't attack other players, and that what everyone does but you is completely wrong, that's fine. But you can say that over and over again to us, but we're the ones that are fascists because we ask people to follow the rules. Absolutely insane. I was blown away by how crazy he went, how absolutely over the top he went, and to what level he went. The amount of comments that he wrote, you know, the way that he treats a game interaction as if it's real life is just an nerd, stupid level. Even small children can distinguish between play and real life. Like, because we play cops and robbers does not mean we are robbers in real life. You know, because we're saying obey the rules of the game does not make us fascists. Like, it's just another level of entitlement and weirdness from QcWarChief. A guy that is the care-beariest of Care Bears. And, you know, I have said before, I would happily debate him on YouTube. I would, you know, work out some way of making my microphone able to be heard as well. To have a lengthy conversation with him about his justifications for combat logging. Because, like I say, he's not actually brought up a good case. His arguments are, the game's dead so it doesn't matter. That he's more important than you, so he doesn't have to obey the rules. And, you know, his time is more important than yours, so he has to have no respect for you. Now, all I'm going to say is that, like, I don't like playing games with people who don't respect the rules because it's kind of pointless. I mean, I wouldn't play chess against somebody who doesn't respect the rules of chess because you're not playing chess at that point. The person's just moving pieces at random and doing whatever they claim. That's not chess. You have to have rules to be a structure for a game. Elite Dangerous is a game. The developers set the structure, they decide what is and isn't in the game. They decided they wanted an open mode that allows piracy and PvP. QcWarChief doesn't like that. He has said many a times that he doesn't like that. He doesn't think people should do that. He thinks it should be co-op only. And he's much more important than the developers, and so self-entitled he feels that the developers are completely wrong and aren't allowed to enforce their game. Okay, if that's the best you've got, I would happily debate you all day long. It doesn't sound like a very cogent argument to me. Anyway, that's all. Thank you very much for watching.